Yeah.
So your losses, do you think you would have become a Fargo champion, state champ, if it wasn't for these losses along the way?
I don't think so. I think that all these losses, all my losses that I had in previous years put me on a path, put me in a different mindset. If I had just been winning, maybe I wouldn't have changed up my mindset because it would have been working. So I think that those losses were what put me on the track to be where I am today.
And then this senior year, you Fargo, starting the win at Fargo, and then how did this year, this year go for wrestling for your senior year?
Yeah, it's been really well. It's been going really well. I feel confident, more confident than I ever been before. Just confident in myself, confident in my wrestling, and I think that shows when I go out on the mat. I'm getting to I'm not letting anyone get to their stuff. It's always okay. I'm gonna go out, get my shots. I'm gonna get my primary. I'm gonna get my secondary, and I'm gonna finish the match. So I think that showed all the way, through my entire season. I went undefeated, and no points were scored on me besides if I let them up to attack them.
Escapes.
Yeah. So I think that showed just how dominant my wrestling has become and how far I've come from even just last year.
Mm-hmm. How did you structure your training at the high school, for example, during high school season? How many times did you go to the high school practice, and then tailor your schedule to what you needed?
Yeah. So me and my coach, we're very close. So we talked about it before, and we know that even the boy that I had been my previous partner, he graduated. So I had even less training partners at Glendora. So
because they're boys, but they have to be the right boys for you to train
exactly.
with, right?
Yeah. You can't have one with an ego or one that doesn't know how to control their strength. And my coach obviously wanted me to be very careful with that. So we made a kind of like a deal, like we talked about it. I was going to Glendora, my high school practice, like about twice a week, a couple times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this last summer, I changed clubs. So I train out of Church Boys at Calvary Chapel in Santa Ana. So that's my new club. And so all the other days, I was going out to Calvary Chapel, and I was training down there with my personal coach. Most of the time, I was doing double practices a day. It would be like a private with my coach, so me just training with him, and then a club practice.
Who is your coach?
Anthony Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's my
shout-out,
personal coach, Anthony Rodriguez.
Nice. Yeah. So you're doing 2 practices a day.
Yeah, so I would go train with him, and then I would wait around and do homework because I'm on online school. So I do homework and then go into club practice.
Okay. So you're homeschooled.
Yeah, basically. So my school has, ever since COVID happened, they kept like the program that they were using for that. So for different circumstances, you can go on. They call it GOAL.
Goal?
GOAL, yeah. So it's basically just homeschooling, online learning.
Okay. And so you're able to, because of that, sleep in a little bit after the, training late, maybe right later. And you're able to get an extra training in? Yeah,
it's definitely been very beneficial with, like you said, sleeping in. I don't have to wake up at like 4 a.m. to go do practice before school.
Okay.
And so I think that's helped. And also, just getting extra practices in. And because I'm driving out to Santa Ana, for my club practices, it gives me more time.
From Glendora.
Yeah, it gives me more time, to drive out there and then do my practices and drive back.
So you would be able to sleep in, and then were you able to split your training sessions like throughout the day?
Yeah, I would drive out probably like sometime in the morning after I wake up, and then I would do some work out there usually, and then maybe like around 12 or 1 I would have a private, and then club practice would be at 6. So I was having time in between. So I think that was also helpful because a lot of times, sometimes back-to-back practices can be, too hard on your body.
Draining, yeah.
Yeah.